Welcome to the final episode of Biz Wire. I'm Joseph Nordstrom in Beijing. We finish off our program by first looking at China's contribution to climate change, its drive for more renewable energy, and the transformation of its economy. With manufacturing wages rising, low-cost production can't push China's economy forward as it has in the past 3+ decades. The economy of the coming decades will be much less energy intensive, with a focus on adding value to products and not just simple assembly and export. China may be the world's biggest emitter of greenhouse gases, but it's also the largest source of renewable energy from wind and the sun. China's environment, from the air to the land to water, is in crisis, and the people know it and are demanding change. Cleaner growth, like cleaner government, has been a frequent talking point for years, but there's evidence now of reforms actually taking place. Efforts to seriously address air pollution began last September when the State Council, the country's cabinet of sorts, announced an action plan to reduce emissions. Then earlier this year, Premier Li Keqiang declared war on pollution, and factory closures can already be seen in economic data. Industrial production, especially in the heavily polluted north, is growing at the lowest level since the financial crisis. But what is rising and even getting back to profitability is the clean energy sector, notably wind and solar power. Unprofitable and debt-laden solar panel makers are being allowed to go bankrupt, whereas in the past would have been kept on life support by local officials willing to feed so-called zombie corporations in order to keep up employment. The same can be said of some of the most polluting industries like cement and steel, where scores of plants are being shuttered. While getting the clean energy industry on sustainable footing is very good news, perhaps the most important change is to accountability. Local officials, who are often at odds with Beijing's grand schemes, will now be judged for promotion based partly on environmental factors in their district. Giving those in control on the ground the incentive to pollute less, even at the expense of economic growth, shouldn't be underestimated. China certainly faces some formidable challenges, from local government and SOE-held debt to a possible housing bubble to having enough suitable jobs for its electronically connected army of college graduates to corruption and its environmental crisis. There's no shortage of problems to deal with. However you think about China's Communist Party, especially in light of next week's solemn anniversary on the square, leaders at the top have strong survival instincts and are usually able to identify and address the country's most pressing issues. Known as the China Watcher's China Watcher, Bill Bishop says the country has always faced seemingly insurmountable problems, but in all likelihood will, in his words, muddle through. While muddling through isn't a great political slogan, as long as indicators like life expectancy, access to opportunities, and incomes are improving, muddling through will have to do. You're watching the final episode of Biz Wire on China's Blue Ocean Network. The past 4 years of Biz Wire can be seen on our website, BONTV/biz-wire. You can interact with me on Twitter at Joseph Nordstrom. Let's turn now to Neil Jones for a quick look at a few stories that are buzzing through the markets.